and welcome to La Baby Witch Tale Podcast. Hola, bienvenido a mi podcast. And today we have a special episode. Tenemos hoy un episodio especial. Before I continue, I want to apologize for the schedule. I got my parents visiting from Puerto Rico. Haven't seen them in 3 years. So, scheduling has been a little bit different. Also with my YouTube channel. As they, we're trying to spend as much time as we can with them. As I said before, we don't see them often. So, quiero disculparme si el horario de los videos y mis podcasts están un poco diferentes. Yo había comentado a mis padres recientemente volvieron de Puerto Rico de vacaciones aquí a Estados Unidos y bueno, pues no los tenemos mucho aquí, ¿verdad? Y quiero pues pasarla bien con ellos y por eso hemos pasado los horarios. Y pues estamos tratando de salir y eso, y pues vacaciones, por eso se han tardado, se van a tardar un poquito diferente los horarios, ya que por eso. Pero luego de que yo vuelva a Puerto Rico, pues todo vuelve normal. So with this said, as I explained in Spanish also, we're gonna go with a special episode is like, yes, take it personal. Se va a llamar, sí, tómalo personal. So whenever you have friends in our family that they are actually very kind to others, but when it comes to you, they're different, yes, take it personal. They're not being passive aggressive. They're not being like, let me support you or help you being independent. No, they're being shady. Okay. There's a fine line in between two things. Helping you becoming more independent and helping you in any other way, it's always a thumbs up. But when people purposely do not help you and help others, take it as a big red flag because again, they're doing it purposely. People who care for you or like you in any way, shape, or form, they will help you in any way, shape, or form they can. If you have a business, they're not going to ask for discounts. They're going to pay full price because they know you're worth it. And the same way they wouldn't go to another store asking for a discount, they should do the same thing with you. When people purposely treat you differently, they view your products or let's say your art in any way, shape, or form. Your art in any way, shape, or form as less as somebody else. Is because they think of you that way. So whenever somebody says do not take it personal, tell them to screw up or screw you because again, yes, take it personal. People tend to tell you how they feel about you, especially when you have a business, when you have an idea, when you bought something. They often tell you exactly how they feel with how they react or how they support any of your ideas in or businesses. Ahora, yo le llamo sí, tómalo personal. Cuando tienes familiares que ayudan a otras personas o otros tiendas, let's say that. Vamos a suponer que tú tienes o estás abriendo un nuevo emprendimiento y tú sabes que familiares le dicen, mira, aquí estoy vendiendo esto o lo otro, y ellos con toda la intención no te ayudan. O van a tu local y dicen, bueno, dame un descuento. 100% tómalo personal. Porque cada vez que te hacen eso es porque ellos piensan que tu producto o tu arte no vale la pena. Porque cada vez cuando alguien no quiere pagar el precio, especialmente cuando son tus familiares o amistades, es así mismo como te ven. Cuando alguien no quiere pagar tu precio, ¿verdad? Vamos a suponer que tienes una tienda, como te comenté al principio. Es porque ellos piensan que tú no lo vales. So, cada vez que alguien te trate diferente, aunque sean familiares o amigos, créeme que sí tómalo personal porque es un ataque pasivo-agresivo. Ahora, let's talk about when somebody else makes time for other people. For example, let's say that you have a friend or a family member that goes to other people's birthday parties. They make all these arrangements to make sure they do not fail that specific person. But when it comes to you, they don't care. And they will purposely fail you or make all these excuses just to not go. Yes, take it personal. Understand something. When somebody wants to, they just do it. When somebody don't, they just won't. Unless it's a last minute, like a day before kind of thing. Everything is workable. So do not make excuses for some people's mistreatments, because the reality is that if they want to, they would. And when they don't, they say, oh, I can't go. You know what I'm saying? Unless, again, an emergency is a different story. If you told them last minute that, always make sure that the occasion goes with it. But if you do send them a notice within reasonable time and they decide to not show, or they don't even give you an answer, yes, take it personal. Take it very personal because it means that they just don't feel like you are worth. They're not taking the time, you know what I'm saying? So I know it's hurtful and it sounds like, oh my gosh, you're putting like too much. No, I'm just so tired with fake positivity into making you believe that it's a different story, and it feeds delusion and often makes you naive. And it's okay to not be so bad intended in ways, thinking the worst of people, but it's not okay to be naive either, because often you're going to be the butt of the joke. So it's very important to be aware of your surroundings and people's attitudes, because people are not that complicated. Now, some fake positivity and toxic spirituality will make you feel otherwise, and that's the thing that I do not support. Cuando tú tienes una actividad, vamos a suponer, y tú invitas a alguien, esta persona, no importa cuánto tiempo tú le hayas dado, nunca saca tiempo para ti, familiares, amistades, lo que sea, pero lo hacen con otra persona. Mi amor, toma eso como una señal, tómalo personal, porque es que ellos no piensan que tú vales la pena sacar el tiempo, ¿ok? Ahora, si tú le dijiste un día antes, si pasó una emergencia, obviamente hay que poner nuestro sentido común, pero tú sabes que no tienen ningún tipo de excusa, tú le diste tiempo, nada pasó, pero no te contestaron o no quisieron asistir. 100% te digo, mi amor, que no querían asistir a lo tuyo, ¿ok? So, tómalo personal. Recuerda esto, mi amor, cuando alguien quiere, lo hace todos los sacrificios, porque no está tan difícil, ¿ok? Y yo estoy tan cansada de la gente en las redes sociales dándote espiritualidad tóxica, positivo tóxico, que te hace un tonto o una tonta. Está muy bien ser inocente en una manera u otra, pero ser tonto o tonta es diferente, porque cuando uno es tonto o tonta, siempre dándole el beneficio de la duda a las personas, siempre es el hazme reír de las personas. Y una de las cosas que nosotros no somos es una broma ambulante. A menos que nosotros estemos envueltos y nos estemos riendo, no debemos ser la broma ambulante. So, cuando alguien te hace eso, sí, tómalo personal. Tómalo muy, muy personal. You know I'm the queen of story times, because girl, get the tea. So, I was part of this, I used to work at Target years ago. And you make coworkers and whatnot. And long story short, they had like a outside of work, like gathering or whatever, they were hanging out. And the funny thing is, like, we were all getting off the same time, the group, right? At the time I was single, my parents were here in the United States with me. So if I would have told them, they would have said yes, and they would watch my kid for me to hang out like an hour or two after work. Keep in mind that I don't go out, and it wasn't even like partying or anything. It was just to get a coffee, because we did get off quite early. It was like 1 p.m., right? The whole week. Keep in mind that I overhear them talking, because again, we all work together in the same section, and they were planning this, and they purposely said, do not tell Michelle. And I was like, okay, like, I did got hurt. I was upset in a bit, but at the same time, I said, you know what, it's better off like that, because if they don't want me there, imagine them inviting me and treating me like they don't want me there. So at this point, what I'm trying to get to you is, I did not make excuses for them. I knew then that they didn't like me, but also I didn't make a big of a deal, because I have so much pride. Like, if you don't like me, that's fine. But be honest with me. And they kept like, being so kind to me, so cool to me, quote, right? And long story short, they invite me to that gathering that same day. And I said, oh no, I can't, like, you needed to tell me beforehand, because otherwise I can't come. Now I know what they did. So they get, clean their hands, like, oh, we did try, but I know what they did. So at this point, you need to take that as red flags. People often plan things. So when you are not invited, do not try to squeeze in, because you're still unwanted. You know what I'm saying? When people invite you last minute, they often plan it beforehand, and they planned it to be like that. They planned it for you to not go. So when you try to squeeze in, you're going to feel unwanted all the way, and they're going to make you feel unwanted all the way, because it was always intended to be like that. So with this said, do not make excuses for people's bad behavior towards you. See the signs and see exactly what they mean now. You don't have to be mean to them for that, right? Because unfortunately, they do have the right to like you or not. It'll be nice for them to be honest sometimes, right? But at this point, yes, take it personal and don't make excuses and keep your awareness ahead, you know? Tengo una historia. Ustedes saben que yo trabajaba en Target hace muchos años y trabajamos con un grupo de chicas. Todas las chicas siempre trabajamos casi siempre el mismo horario. Esa semana trabajábamos todo el mismo horario y salíamos temprano a la 1 de la tarde. Y yo las escuché un día hablando en el cual estaban planeando, creo que era un sábado, salir después del trabajo a tomarse un café y a comer en un lugar. Pero también escuché cuando dijeron, no invites a Michelle. Bueno, eso fue un lunes o un martes. Nada, la semana pasó y ellas continuaron siendo amables conmigo, hablando conmigo, relajando conmigo. Vamos a almorzar porque almorzábamos allí mismo en Target. Y un día, el sábado, por la mañana, me dicen, hola Michelle, mira, vamos a salir tal día. O este día, después del trabajo, ¿quieres venir? Y yo dije, no puedo porque obviamente, ¿verdad? Yo tenía, mi papá vivían aquí en ese momento. Y si lo hubiese dicho con tiempo, ellos claramente hubiesen dicho que sí a cuidarme el nene para tomarme un café con mis amistades, ¿verdad? Pero obviamente así de último momento, pues obviamente que no se puede. Y yo no iba a hacerlo porque yo sabía, pero nada, me invitaron. Y cuando yo dije, no puedo, así, ella, ay, qué lástima, me hubiese encantado que fuera. Ay, pero te digo yo, mi amor, cuando la gente quiere, ellos tratan. So, cuando tú no te invitan, ¿verdad? Y te invitan a último momento, así, al último momento, no vayas. Porque ellos sabían que tú ibas a decir que no y la intención es que tú digas que no. So, no te dejes agarrar de tonto o tonta. Cuando no te quieren, mira, mejor no estar ahí porque para que te sientas excluida o excluido. Las energías no fallan. Y por eso yo digo, sí, tómalo personal. Yo lo tomé personal un poquito, claro que sí. Me molesté, me sentí mal porque yo no entendía, porque yo soy una persona bastante tranquila. Cosa que la gente no entiende, que soy tarotista, soy persona, dos cosas diferentes, ¿verdad? Y en ese tiempo, yo no hacía tanto las cartas. Yo hacía las cartas, pero part-time. Pero anyway, sí lo tomé personal, pero sí tómalo personal y tómalo como una señal de que hay gente hipócrita cerca de uno. Ahora, no tienes que estar molesta en el sentido de que no tienes que gritarle ni reclamarle, porque eso ya es muy, muy humillante. Pero entiende que sí, tómalo personal, pero toda acción es planeada, a menos que se llame emergencia, ¿ok? O accidente, ¿ok? So with this said, this is simple. When people want, they would, you know? And it's not that hard. Like, back in the day, I used to excuse my ex all the time. Like, oh, he's tired. Oh, he's that. Now my fiance, he does everything. Even when he's tired. Even when he's angry. When we argue sometimes. Stupid little things. Couple things. He still do things for me. Like, pick up, do laundry. Still cares for me. When somebody does really care for you, they would, no matter what. And when people use excuses to mistreat you, to exclude you, take it personal. You know what I'm saying? When they treat you differently, it's not because they don't mean it. They do mean it. They know exactly what they're doing. And that's why I'm the tarot reader people do not like. That's why I'm the tarot reader that my views don't always get the best. Because I speak the truth, you know? And only the people who are willing to listen to the truth are here, and I'm so grateful for all of you. So, mira, yo antes excusaba hasta a mi ex. Cuando él no quería hacer algo, decía, ay, que está cansado. Ay, que está esto. Y mi pareja de ahora, cansado, molesto, como sea. Él como quiere intenta, me ayuda, me trata bien. Porque cuando la gente de verdad quiere, lo intenta. ¿Tú entiendes? So, si alguien te trata mal, te excluye, te invita al último momento, hace cosas, la manera que te tratan, créeme que la gente sabe lo que hace, la intención está ahí. No hagas excusas por esto, ¿me entiendes? Porque tú sabes lo que haces también y tú jamás harías cosas negativas por jugar, ¿me entiendes lo que te digo? Toda acción, sí, ellos saben lo que hacen, sí lo saben, mi amor, sí lo saben. Por eso te digo, sí, tómalo personal, porque es totalmente personal es intencional, a menos que algo que tú puedas probar te diga que es lo contrario. That's what I'm telling you. Yes, when shit like that happens, yes, take it personal, unless you can prove otherwise, because it is all the way intentional. So with this said, this is the end of this episode. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you so much for everybody who has followed me recently. I'm gonna make another podcast after this one, but I appreciate all of you. Honestly, I love you guys so much, and I hope you guys have an amazing day. Bueno, muchas gracias, mis amores, por escucharme. También quiero darle gracias a los nuevos seguidores que me han seguido últimamente. Los aprecio mucho, los amo mucho y espero que tengan una hermosa semana. Los amo. Bye bye.